Good afternoon, everyone. It's now 3:10, and I think we're very lucky this afternoon because we brought Dr. Rongi Stanos, who's going to talk about integrating the curriculum in a university with the surrounding companies and giving placements, etc., and how to for integration after graduation. Without further ado, my name is David O'Sullivan. I'm a professor in Busan National University, and I am not going to spend much time because you're all here not to listen to me, but to Dr. Rongi Stanos. Okay? I'll let you take the floor.
Thank you so much. It's a really honor to be here, and actually I want to express my thanks to Asian Kinesiology Society, and by the way, California State University, where I'm working, is a proud member of American Kinesiology Association. So we're really excited moving the word kinesiology all over the world. I remember when I was graduate student, 95, 96, my current boss, Timothy White, who is the chancellor of the whole system, was president of ICSM, and he came and visited my university, and he was excited that a lot of places adopted the name kinesiology, and California State University system has 23 campuses, 20 of them they have kinesiology, and mid-90s we adopted the name kinesiology, so it's really important for us to use the word and spread the word, and it's not something easy that is moving. It's also important for United States universities to have a specific labor code. It took 20 years. In 2020 we're going to have a final exclusive labor code for the word kinesiology, because now we have only words for exercise physiology, athletic training, but not kinesiology. So it's really exciting. I'm going to give you a little bit background of where we are. California State University North is basically in Los Angeles. We're north part of Los Angeles. We're one of the 23 campuses. In terms of kinesiology, we are the largest kinesiology department. And what is important, and from the pictures you're going to see, is that we are also designated what we call Hispanic Serving Institution and Asian American, Native American, Pacific Islander Institution, because we have more than 15% Asian American students. So as you see, sometimes you're going to feel that, all the students are Asian American. Yes, they are, because we have many of them there. We belong to the College of Health and Human Development, and I'm explaining that so you can see the framework and how we're working. The other we are 8 departments. Kinesiology is one of them. Nursing is another one. Physical therapy, speech disorder is another one. Health sciences in our college is different. In other universities, it's combined kinesiology and health sciences, but both of us, we're huge departments, 2,000 students. In health sciences, 2,000 also in kinesiology. We offer athletic training program. Athletic training is its own major. This is by default, by certification. 2020, we're going to convert in a master's level athletic training, but also, for your information, 2022, all US-based athletic training programs will be master's level. They're not going to be any undergraduate level. So we're following what happened to physical therapy over the years. Physical therapy in the United States, it is a doctoral program right now. So in our department we have kinesiology. You see the different names. As an undergraduate, everything will lead to the same type of jobs, but applied fitness is, and physical education will say the bread and butter of what's happening in the field. People work in the schools, or they have the fitness companies. We have dance, we have an amazing dance program, we have performances, and at the same time all our dancers wear special vests and suits, and we're measuring with the telemetry what happened to their human body, so we have really exceptional dancers. They produce in Hollywood, but also they collect data for their master thesis. So exercise science is one of our most popular, it's the most difficult one because it has a lot of physics, chemistry. Why is that? Because this is precursor for professional programs. Usually you want to go to physical therapy, occupational therapy, physician assistant in the United States. You have to have several physics, chemistry classes. So exercise science fits exactly the schedule. And finally we have sports studies, which is more about philosophy, history. We did not have sports management for one reason. If we had sports management, then we will be 5,000 students, and we cannot afford to have that many students. So I'm going to mention some keywords here, what we call it, that universities in the United States, especially at the level where we are, they're very center community learning. By the way, Cal State University system does not have PhDs. We have a lot of research, we have postdocs, we have master's level, but not PhDs. University of California, like UCLA, UC Berkeley, by law, they're the ones that they offer the doctoral degrees. We offer only clinical degrees, Doctor of Physical Therapies, Doctor of Speech Therapy, educational doctorate, but not PhD doctorate. So, yes, we do have 2,000 students. At one point, we have 2,500 students, and we restricted enrollment, which is not usual for California. Usually, you have to understand, in California, we have the opposite problem from Korea. Korea has 90% college-educated people. In California, in the United States, it's close to 35–40%. So we are looking to increase the number of graduates in four-year institutions. Quite different problem than here. So it's unusual that the department will stop enrollment. Why we stop? Because we cannot handle more than 2,000 students. 2,500 students was too much. Now, the things I'm going to talk about is for the students to see how things are working in terms of how we train people, how we prepare from work, but also for faculty. Now, this is something that more and more universities coming into the different types of assessment and what we need to do for assessment. So a lot of things are your typical things that are happening in everyday life. For example, research productivity. Especially, I know some Korean universities, Japanese universities, they say how many publications you have, this is how our university will be rated. The same thing is for the United States. How many grants you have, how many millions you bring. If you are in a research one university in the United States, if you don't bring the money, well, you have to, there are some 3 G's there, like you get money or you get someone else to give money or you go away. So this is not the case for our universities, which are massive level university. Accreditation is also important. You have to have an accredited system, for example, athletic training. If you are not accredited, your university students cannot take the exams. If they cannot take the exams, they cannot work as certified athletic trainers. But there are some other things that are important. For example, economic impact. How much money the university generates. So this is important. Now, another thing that is not clearly happening, but it's happening in some US universities, for example, job placement. It is important. So if I ask you, what is the top engineering schools in the United States, you're going to tell me different names. MIT, Princeton, Caltech. But if you look at the job placement, you're going to see some names you know. Actually, Princeton is the #1 school on when their graduates finish their degree, they're going to get the highest salary. And #2 is you don't even know it. It's a school close to my house. They call it Claremont Colleges, Harvey Mudd. So it's a number, nobody knows that school, but to get in that school, your SAT scores should be almost 1,600. Tuitions are extremely expensive, but they pay off because their graduate, the highest first job is 120,000, 130,000 when they graduate from their degree. Now, what happened is important for your professors and what's happening for the students is how fast you graduate. If you are in a private university, usually you graduate fast. In a state university, there is many factors that will happen and what's happening there, and we'll explain to you why not everybody graduates on time. But the most important thing is when we go out in the labor force, are we ready to work? And this is really important for a lot of people. So another form of assessment that's coming is how good is your customer? How good are your clients? For example, we evaluate people, our teachers. How? Not direct to the teachers, we go to the schools and we see how the children are behaving with these teachers. So a lot of times there is a lot of interaction on how we can evaluate. So this is a lot of things about evaluation. Different universities do different ways, but I'm going to focus more on the student readiness and how we can prepare students to be ready. And this is something that I will just throw it here. And it's different from country to country. And it's different from area to area. So here I'm going to talk a little bit about the United States and maybe California. So some of you, you're here, you haven't reached the Generation Z yet. Some of the students are millennials, some faculty maybe are the early millennials, but it's a huge, huge difference on how we teach nowadays with our students. Why is that? First of all, 20 years ago, we give assignments in the United States, upload a statement, and it was like, what? What is to upload a PDF file? Nobody understood that. Now today, you don't need to think about it. Everybody knows everything. Everybody's connected. We do student evaluations with everything. We do, while we're teaching, questions, and people are able to answer, yes, I understand this, I don't understand this. So people are very, very connected, extremely connected. The problem is what? The previous generation were experimenting more. What I'm saying that, first of all, in the United States, we see two trends. People start drinking less and start having sex in older age, which is different from maybe from other countries. So what happened is, for example, the generation changes. Also, the generation is more protected. They have less experiences. This has nothing to do with what we're teaching, but yes, it does. Why? Because a lot of students come with less movement experiences. I teach usually about mechanics class. I teach a class about computers, uses MATLAB, physics, and movement. But I stopped giving examples about throwing the ball or lifting this because a lot of our students had problem understanding what's happening. Why? Because they did not have the same experience that the students 10 years ago had. So it is maybe, that's why I say it's completely different cultural. You say, what? A kinesiology student and doesn't know? Yes, some of our students are very excellent on these things, but a lot of students, they do not know these things because they never experience it. So it is important for them to get everybody involved. So something that is working with older generation, newer generation is service learning, basically hands-on experiences. Now it's funny, if you go to a US schools and you see the bottom quote, they say Benjamin Franklin said that, but so those of you, especially from Asia, you understand that this came much, much earlier. It's not Benjamin Franklin's quote, it's somebody else's quote. So it's a little bit different. Bottom line is, what is teaching service learning? This is an example I gave you is accounting. A lot of our students learn accounting how? They go to the community and they do the tax returns for poor people, uneducated people. This is how they learn how to do accounting and later to become accountants for bigger firms. This is how they learn. So this is a class that goes to the community and work with different people. Something similar is what we are doing in kinesiology. The trick there is how to blend these, because we don't want to go a little bit early. Now, another thing I want to mention is for my school, sometimes when I tell these things, people get amazed. Not every student go through university with the same experiences. Some of you go different experience, but I'll tell you the statistics from my department. Now, 80% of our students work 20 hours or more. 20% of our students, out of 5, they hold a full-time job. They work 40 hours and they come to school. 40% of them, they're born outside the United States. And 60% of them, they speak other language than English. So they attend English schools, but they speak another language. 10%, 7 to 10% of them, they are undocumented in the United States. They don't even have a legal status. And 50% of them, they're documented, but their parents are not documented. So they have to do a lot of things for their parents, work for their parents, translate for their parents, drive for their parents. So our students are very, very busy. They're not that I go to school and I devote myself 100% at school. So we have to help them into developing all these different ideas and work. So the problem is what? We have to give them movement experiences, but on the other side, we don't want to injure other people. So we find a nice trick. What's the first trick? So the first people that are students working are other California State University faculty and staff. So we have developed some fitness program, exercise programs within the university. So how we have developed? So this is some classes that just put the names. We call it Commit to Be Fit. So what's happening to these classes to commit to be fit? We call it 336. Now in these classes, it is important to understand that the students already have anatomy, physiology, they have 3 activity classes, and they have one class, we call it King 300, that they do a basic movement analysis, not biomechanics, so they learn some basic strength training principles. And so they do a lot of things, and then the clients are faculty and staff from the university. Now, this is not a unique program. A lot of universities try to do that, but you start the program and eventually slowly dies down. Why it dies down? Because there is no effort given by faculty and there is no support on that. So what we did? What we did is we linked our classes. So people pay to take the classes and at the same time they're implement what they're learning with the faculty. Why faculty are coming? The faculty are coming because it's free exercise. People come, work out, and then they take a shower and they go back to their home. Actually, for our area it's good because traffic dies down and they can move on a little bit. So they have that win-win situation. But we implement at the same time a business program because we have one full-time faculty, we have one lecturer teaching the lectures of this class, we have 2 to 4 TAs and different internships, and also we have 15 students on each lab that are working as a one-to-one personal trainer or a group training. So they go through different situations, so they implement what they learn in their lectures with our staff. Now I say it's a little bit tricky because sometimes for students it's not easy to understand the level of intensity. So one time when we started, we were looking exactly what was happening, and I think yesterday I saw one presentation from one our Japanese faculty here saying rigorous exercise that children were doing and they're not doing anymore. They almost start saying to people, oh, do this type of exercise. And we're like, oh, wait a minute. These are 50, 60 years old people. You cannot do exercise. So it's very difficult for people to understand progression when they're working with different age group. Because they think everybody's 20 years old, so everybody's 30 years old. So it is important to understand the progression. That's why we have the full-time faculty and the lecturers that are expert fitness specialists to monitor that level. So we have other programs. We have programs with the faculty, Commit to Be Fit, and also they go to Yosemite, which is 300 miles from where we are. They do hiking. We have wellness, nutrition. What is important it is that how we find that. Again, we find that because this is a class the student already paid, so it is established. Also, we went to human resources and we saw all the statistics saying, look, if you let the HR pays for this program, some extra money for some of our instructors to do that, you're going to have less sick days, you're going to have less problems with back pain and all that. So human resources give some money, and also human resources pays another department to do some nutrition classes there. So we try to integrate what we learn instead of bringing experts from outside. Our faculty can do the teaching and also give money. And also our provost office, which handles most of our money, like the program, so they give some extra to keep it going. Now another program we have is also bringing now people into the community inside, is what we call the Brown Center. Now the Brown Center is not called brown because it has some brown color on one side. It's Brown Center because a guy named Brown gave $4 million to build it. So $4 million was from the private donation, $1 million was from fundraisers, state money. So this is an amazing program. This is not something you can find it anywhere I would say even in the United States, probably there are 4 or 5 universities that have it. And the only reason we have it is because there is a lot of money came as donation. So what I'm saying here is a lot of times you have to work in a partnership with private donation companies in order to make things happen. It does not happen by itself. And in the United States at one point there was the word kinesiotherapist. Some other Cal State, Long Beach used them, but this word was competing with physical therapy or physiotherapy. So it did not go very well. What is working very well in the United States is the word adapted physical activity. And also IFAPA, the International Federation of Adapted Physical Activity, they're moving towards that direction. So it gives the true meaning of what we're doing. We take people in post-acute rehabilitation. We're not doing the job of physical therapy. So we take the people when the insurance stops and we're working with them. So how the program is working. So you're going to see a lot of pictures here. We provide this program for almost 40 years now. Some motivation speakers that are very well known in the United States. Erickson Tada, for example. She was quadriplegic. She came, our engineering department created the first van that the paraplegic can drive, and then our department provided the exercise and the program for her. But also this gives directly to all the students hands-on experience. They start working with people with problems. Most of the people, they have strokes or they have multiple sclerosis. And it's not only that they have the real world experience, but also they have this psychological experience that, oh, I can do something with these people. Because at the beginning, all of us, I would say even me, when I was undergraduate, I was a little bit skeptical how to work with them. But this gives you a complete different perspective on working with people. So you see their mental problems, you see their psychological problems, you see how they behave, and bottom line, you're going to see how they build up a huge community around that area. And you see different pictures. Actually, the third picture, Nicole, she used to be our student, and one time we learned that she went outside to eat and somebody, drunk person, hit her while she was outside, was hit and run. We don't know who hit her, but since then she became paraplegic, so she was exercising. Amazing story. So you see different types of activities that we have there. And so I have a picture. Usually what happens is we have an assessment room where we have graduate students assessing the problems. Then the graduate students and the undergraduate students, they create a program that the undergraduate students will implement with the client. Of course, we have medical releases. We're working with orthopedic doctors or other doctors and what's happening. Then we have the exercise room, and then we're moving to different manual exercise. What is really amazing for what we have, and we are really proud of that, we have a center where we have 4 different swimming pools. So one of the swimming pool is the one we don't let people to go because they want the Whirlpool spa, everybody to go there to have a good time. Usually most of the people that are using that are the people that they are helping, is their people that are serving the person with a problem. We have a cool pool. Cool pool is used for sometimes with people with multiple sclerosis. Some people with multiple sclerosis like cool. What means cool? 80 degrees or 25 Celsius is considered cool pool for them. Usually the pool is at 93, 94, 95 at 30 Celsius, so 25. So some people 25 is working well. In the past, before we had this pool, we used to put vests with ice on top of people, and some they were behaving better. Some of them they hate it. Some people with multiple sclerosis, they cannot even stand it. But some other people, you put them there, and suddenly they start saying, oh, now I can exercise. So it's a very, very good environment for them because now they exercise when they could not exercise. We have a movable floor pool where it goes up and down, people move with wheelchairs, then the pool will go down, we'll do a lot of aerobics, and also we'll do a lot of research with walking on different types of depth with this pool. Actually, this pool is made only one company in the world, in Germany, so if we have to have service it, we fly a guy from Germany to come and fix it. And we have some exercise pool and has all the bells and whistles to put someone from the community with problems. And of course you understand that we have a lot of research from there. A lot of our students, after they finish the masters, they continue into their work. I think 3 of our undergraduate students, some are now, they're full-time faculty in Japan. I think some of them, they're in Korea. And we have a really big program that our students will continue to go later for doctoral programs. By the way, the director of the center is Dr. Zhang. He's Telugu native around here, so some of you may have seen that before if he had presented. Okay, good. So this is some of our students presenting on different places, so I will move more into... The important thing with the funding, when you have a center like that, we always piggyback about money. You hear me to say about money, why? Because money talks. What I mean that, if you don't have money, you cannot sustain the program. So how we pay for that? 400 clients, they pay close to $500 a quarter. This generates 200, 400,000 a year. You say, oh, that's a lot of money. No, because we have to pay, even state universities in the United States, they have to pay staff out of pocket. So our faculty get paid by the state, but our staff working to maintain the building, our money to renovate the building has to come from us. The state will not give us money, so we have to generate money. Now, you can say $500 a semester, which is very limited for California, because at the equivalent centers, the private centers, they pay $500 a week. So we provide a 12-week program with $500 and we generate enough money to sustain the program. But on the other side, if you go outside to the community, it's very, very expensive. And this is what we remind students, you cannot do that easily. You can do it, but not that easily. Why? Because this is a very expensive program. We can do it for free. Why? Because it is tied with the classes. Students pay to work with the clients. The clients pay to sustain the building. And the other stuff that's coming. That's why it is working for us. But it's very, very expensive to have such a facility and make it work. But there are facilities. And they're hiring our students. For example, UCLA hire our students to run their facilities. The actors group, they hire our students to do their facilities. So people will hire our students. But the most important thing is a lot of the clients there are also wealthy. So it's not unusual that they will say, get $1 million, $2 million. Why? To pay for the clients that cannot pay themselves. To pay for research, to pay for the renovation. So this is, and of course we have external grants from LA City, from different places. So maybe later I will come to see some of the video, but now I'm going to explain another one. Another class we have, it's a senior class we call 478 class, and this is, we have 2 things now. We go to the schools, and by the way, physical education teachers go to the school from 2nd, 3rd, 4th year, but this is for all the other students. They go to the schools and they do activities with children, but also will bring children from the community. So this is called 478 class, it's motor behavior principles, and we do different types of activities with them. What is important is, later I'm going to go to the video, but just to make sure. And you're going to see the different activities that children love to be there. You're going to hear a couple of the stories that the parents say, that how children are excited to come to CSUN. And again, this is not an easy program to come. If they go out to the community, they're going to pay a lot of money. If they come to us, it is for free. At one point though, we will charge a fee. Why? Because to make sustainable. Because if it's always for free, it's not sustainable. So we will have to move to a fee-based service towards them. But this is also ideas for our students. What type of jobs they can create for themselves. This is the important thing. They get a model of, oh, I cannot find a job easily, but I can create my own gym for children with minor disabilities. Not full disabilities, because then you have to be a specialist. But you can do a lot of work with minor disabilities. And then I'll show another. But also we go with class to the schools. we go to the schools and we intervene to the schools. So if we see children, we do the different types of tests. If we have children that they have problems, then we work with them to improve their motor ability. Another program we have, we call it iFit, and this is within the university. That is really important. We're a very inclusive school. By the way, we are the largest schools in terms of serving deaf students. And we have the largest assistive technology conference in the United States, where Microsoft comes to hire people and all the wonderful things. And what is iFit? A lot of our students are very capable, very smart, but they have some autistic tendencies. They're on the spectrum. So we have students on the Asperger's level. As you heard before in my previous presentation, a lot of people with some intellectual disabilities that don't want to move that much. So what we have done, we have paired, so we have some research studies, and we have paired students, kinesiology students, with students on the spectrum. So we call it the iFit principle. We had 25, 30 students that categorized as autistic Asperger's syndrome, and these people were paired with some of our students. Again, win-win situation. Why is it a win-win situation? Because in that situation, we have the students that did not participate in activity, go to activity. Our students learn about spectrum disorders, and also they can use this as a model on creating jobs later. That's why it is so important that you understand what's happening in the real world. And again, how this is funded. At the beginning, from the department, we have adapted at physical activity classes. If we offer regular service classes, in the United States we have to offer adapted activity classes, so the people on the spectrum, they can take the activity classes, that there are adapted classes. And everything comes from the faculty initiative. And also right now we're receiving external grants. So we started with internally, work with students, getting the data, applying to agencies, getting the money, and be able to implement. At the same time, the students are learning the different principles. Another thing that is happening in the United States is what we call recreational departments, and you have recreation departments. They're moving away from what we call leisure and recreation and activity, as they're moving what we call into hotel management, which is good for them because they can find jobs in the hotels, but also it creates a void on who is going to be there at the parks. So we have, and this is another, we have a faculty, Dr. Stephen Lloyd, which is passionate on where our students will find jobs. Because you understand, I say 2,000 students, we have 2,000 students, and we have 20 campuses. Not everybody has 2,000 students, but us, Cal State Fullerton, Cal State LA, they have a lot of graduates. There are a lot of graduates outside try to find jobs. So how we help them? Well, we try to create more jobs. So what we did is we went to the communities. We went to the different parks. So we created different programs. We call it 3 Wings or 100 Citizens. Some of them names I don't understand, they blow my mind, but this is what the students want to call them. They call it 3 Wings because there is a win-win-win situation. This is how they call it. So what are we doing? So we talk to the parks, we go to the different counties, the different places, and say, we're going to establish an exercise program. So we go there in the morning and we say, hey guys, we're going to have a program. We advertise in the community, and in the United States, especially Southern California, there is a lot of obesity, a lot of lack of exercise. So what we're trying, and we go to communities, Hispanic communities, Iranian communities, Chinese communities, all because we have multi-language students, they can go everywhere and they can attract people, and we do that. So we're empowering the participants, we're empowering our students, and also improving the community health. So we started with one program next to our school. Now, and at the beginning we had only one type of activity, but now we have separated into different types of activities. So we have 3 levels. So some of the students are not, some of the clients are not overburdened, or we try to match them on the appropriate level. And also, again, money problem. We want to expand more. So what we did, we work with ACE. ACE is the fitness company that gives certifications. ACE is a non-profit. Well, what they did is we worked with them and they gave us $80,000 in order to promote this program. Why they want to promote this program? Plus they gave scholarship to our students to have free certification through them to 100 of our students. So we had a lot of participants and some say first time up to the floor. So you cannot see it there, but you can see on the video if you go to the links that one lady was elated because it was the first time she could get up from the floor by herself with no external help. So that was really important. By the way, this program gave us a lot of good information because we won the White House competition. Our faculty and students went to the White House, so everybody was excited. Most important thing is why this is working for us, because we have a lot of labor force. We have faculty initiative, and we work with a lot of people. We work with LA Marathon to take people from couch potatoes, watching TV, into running 5K, into running LA Marathon. And why are we doing that? We work with RAND Corporation. If you know, RAND Corporation is a big think tank. They're talking about where the US should go and how they're moving. We have the researchers from RAND Corporation coming, working with us, and Dr. Lloyd. Business development people want to take our model and create private companies, so we're working with them. We have external grants with that, with this program. And why is all that? Going back to the previous talker. 4 leading risk factors for death worldwide, not only United States. It's inactivity.
1 minute remaining.
I'm finishing. I'm just showing our executive student board. They're amazing. And what I say, if you want multicultural, this is Southern California. That's why you see. This is, we have expanded in 80-mile radius from our school. And this is some of our publications with RAND Corporation. And bottom line, this is what you have to remember. At least for the United States, every year, someone above 50, 60 years old will have 12,000 expenses or medical expenses. $7,000 is because of diabetes problems. So if we can eliminate that for the 1,000 participants we have, we save $8.4 million for the healthcare system. So this is where we point our numbers, that we are saving you money, give us the money to put people on the parks and exercise. So right now we are funding soft-wise, not permanent positions, to have people there, but this is something we are working with politicians, our students. We tell students, go and talk to the politician. If this becomes a permanent position, you're going to have a permanent job. So so we're trying to create jobs. And I'm going to close with that. This is the salaries in California. We have a unique system that our school can go and get the social security numbers of our students and go to the tax returns and see how they're making. I want to make the point that a bachelor's degree will start with 40, and in 10 years will go to 83,000 average salaries. But look, our master students, they start with 96, and they end up in 10 years making 150,000. And if you're comparing that, for example, to physical therapists, health aid, and health science administration, is very, very similar with that. So this is very unique data. Not other universities have it, because we have access to the Labor Department data. And I want to thank all our faculty that run these programs. And a message for all of us educators is action is more important than education. Thank you.
Thank you for your fantastic presentation. Pretty overwhelmed at how much integration you have with the community. I think a lot of people here will be a bit shocked. Do we have any questions from the floor? Dr. Bart?
Thank you for your presentation. It was amazing. I realized that there's a big difference between United States and Korea in terms of systemically and culturally. So I have 3 questions for you. One is, your school is a state college, right? Yes. How much is your school is controlled by government? Basically the rule, okay? The system-wise. And the second question is there any complication from complaint from a student about doing internship. You know, they want to sit on the desk and they learn something from the lecture, but they have to do it hands-on in the field, real field. So any complaints from students? And then third question is your program like this, how much is popular in your country? Your school is the only, looks like a pioneer, but how much popular?
Okay, so we are state schools. Everything we do is through legislation, but legislation leaves a lot of freedom on individual schools how to do things. Students love it, because internship is the #1 way to find jobs, and they understand it. So it is run so well because students love it. And I already forgot your third question. The third question was?
Third question was how much popular your program in the United States?
This is very popular. The problem is not everybody can do it. For example, we try to implement that with other Cal State, but they're much smaller, and they have only 6-7 faculty, and they have only 200 students, and it's very difficult for them. We have a lot of manpower, and we're able to do it. So this is the pros and cons. Like, we can do it, but it's very difficult for smaller places to implement that. Our challenge is a little bit different. We have a lot of students, which is good, but we don't have enough faculty. If you see the ratio, and if you understand the ratio, 25 faculty for full-time faculty for 2,000 students is too small. We should have 75, but we have a lot of part-time faculty.
Any other questions? Okay, I think we'll have to finish up. I have some questions, but I'll ask you later. Oh, question here. Hold on. This will be the last question because the opening ceremony will be on in a few moments.
Okay, thank you for your presentation, and very amazing and the picture about United States. We come from Hong Kong, and actually our institute also collaborate with some Hong Kong team like the hockey team or the netball team, and then deliver some exercise program. But our school, in terms of the political concern, they have lots of the issue about insurance in case if your student, your graduate, or your staff have some malpractice. So the school will concern a lot how you cover, or is it your school or they cover all these issues to make sure they are very safe to practice, or you have the whole system to because we cannot solve this problem easily, because otherwise we need to charge the client very high prices. But this is quite not practical in Hong Kong situation.
Yes, of course. We have special release forums. We work with people. We have liability insurances. So it is built in, but it is also a big concern, especially for state of California, that everybody can sue everybody for nothing. But so far we have a pretty good legal team that has worked with that. So, and we do not have. Basically, the idea is that it's volunteer participation, so they sign a waiver. The people that. They sign a waiver, and also they bring medical clearance to exercise in order to do that. We use the Part Q, the SESM guidelines, so if we go through the questionnaires. If they go outside, we require to have medical clearance to be part of the program. So we're working with the SESM guidelines on who is participating or not participating.
I know we can use the Part Q. We also did the same things, but the school concern when you deliver the professional ideas of the program to the clients, but when you do the instruction, or you may got some accident or the injury during your exercise, maybe the lower back pain suddenly, then maybe the client may sue the student or sue the graduate, then how to handle this case then?
Yes, so there is the waiver, is the legal documents they have already signed up.
Okay, so it means the waiver can cover everything?
Not always, but yes. That's why our university lawyers handle this paperwork. Yes. But as you see, I want to mention that I went to Taiwan and Hong Kong. They have excellent programs in the mornings and all that. And I want to ask, who is funding all this? Later, I'll talk to you later. Okay.
Okay, sorry about this. If you have any more questions, please contact him personally. But I'm sure you can find his email. Okay, he's very approachable. Could we give him a final round of applause?